Hello everyone, I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this August 12, 2023. It's being brought to you by WSR Insurance Services Incorporated and also brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors. Here we are headed towards the middle of August, and then across the western United States, things are changing up a little bit. First of all, the monsoonal moisture flow is not going to be nearly as intense, but there's a little bit of rain coming for the desert Southwest and parts of the central and southern Rockies. It's not going to be as widespread and as deep of a moisture pattern that we saw really since the middle of July. But Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Colorado, Utah, you're going to get a little rain. That'll help. Wish it was more, but there's a little bit of rain coming your way. The northern areas will be looking at less in the way of shower and thunderstorm activities. We'll show you. It is going to be a bit warmer. It's been a cool start to August for the central and northern Rockies and central and northern plains, while the heat has continued in the far south, and that's where it's going to stay. The real hot August weather will be in the far southern plains, far desert southwest areas, generally speaking close to average temperatures elsewhere, and this is going to lead to a rather typical August weather pattern over the next week to 10 days, kind of a typical late summer stretch of weather where it's going to be pretty predictable across the western United States. Now, over the last week, more heavy rain fell over the last 7 days, especially from the northern plains and the central and northern Rockies, then out into the plain states and the Corn Belt. Not as impressive rain, unfortunately, but some across New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, into the Great Basin, parts of Arizona as well, and even into eastern areas of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, picking up some needed rain. What we're going to see, though, is less in the way of rain up here and more of a shift to the better chance of showers and thunderstorms here, as we'll show you here in a moment. Now, if you look at the last 90 days, essentially, where has the heavier rain fallen this summer? Well, look for the white, green, and blue. White means average precipitation, meaning it's close to the 30-year averages. The green and the blue is where you have the much above normal precipitation. And you can see a lot of Montana, Wyoming, the western Dakotas, central western Nebraska, central and western Kansas and Oklahoma, into the panhandles there. Also parts of southwestern Idaho and eastern Oregon. But you also can tell along the southern border areas here, along the west slope of Colorado and into the Pacific Northwest, due to the fact that the monsoon moisture flow has just been poor here in these areas this year. That's where the dryness has been this summer. While this area right here, boy, a lot of blue. Some of those blue areas, well more than 200% of average for the year. And that does affect temperatures some. For the last week, these are the temperature anomalies. This arch of cooler than average temperatures going coast to coast across the west to the central to the east. And then you can see where the heat is right here. And that's likely where it's going to stay. These patterns of temperature are likely going to be similar. Look at this for the year. This is since January 1. So even with the big summer heat, especially in the south and the southwest, for the year, temperatures across most of the west are still cooler than average. Now, this is where we're going to start things. As we look at the weather here to start the forecast period, we have the high in the south. That's where the heat will be, but there is some monsoonal moisture that'll come up. So this will bring some showers and thunderstorms to parts of the central and southern Rockies this weekend, while the jet stream is riding along the U.S.-Canadian border. So it'll be cooler up there and a bit on the breezy side across the northern Rockies and northern plains. By Wednesday, high pressure begins to grow a little bit and head a little bit more west. What we'll likely see will be near average to slightly below average temperatures through Monday, then warming up towards the middle of next week. And kind of a pattern of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms across the southeast, southwestern areas of the United States, and a bit cooler, kind of unsettled up in central and eastern areas of Canada and into the Great Lakes, and kind of cool with northwest flow coming into those areas. And eventually that northwest flow will get pushed into the region. Now, by a week from today, by next Saturday, high pressure kind of gets reestablished. So this will keep us in an August summer pattern as we head into the third week of August. But notice we've got more storminess up here in Alaska, the Aleutians, just off the west coast of British Columbia. These systems are likely going to come in later in the month of August, close to that, maybe that end of August timeframe. But we will see still plenty of summer, but this looks like a really average, typical weather pattern for this time of year. This is maybe a hint of a tropical storm or hurricane forming off the coast of Mexico in about a week to 10 days. This is what the precipitation forecast looks like. You can see that there is some hope here for southern and southwest Colorado, parts of New Mexico, and parts of Arizona here to get some needed rain. While kind of more diffuse showers and thunderstorms, garden variety thunderstorms here. And with that active jet stream up here, the heavier moisture will be more towards the Corn Belt, Midwest, and Great Lakes and southeastern areas of the United States. Still unfortunately dry across here, the Pacific Northwest, though a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity for the Sierra Nevada. Our next update will be the 19th. Have a good weekend and a good week ahead.